good, technically morning. It is after midnight. And what are we in? We are in spring in Florida. So it's March, getting ready to go into April. And we had a little bit of a calamity in the Mighty camper. What happened? Well, as you know, Herman, my adventure buddy here, we go fishing a lot, kayaking, that sort of thing. I'd gone fishing, bought brand new, beautiful bait, had a great time, it was amazing. Had some other things with me as well. Got home a little bit later than I had anticipated, and my partner needed some help with some things, so I left things in the van with the anticipation of coming back out to get them. And that did not happen. It is a travesty. So basically what happened is that 3 days later, I was bringing in some dishes from a previous expedition that had been washed, brought them back to Herman, opened the doors, and OMG. You know how, like, when you're watching, like, CSI, whatever, and they always bring in the rookie, it's a murder scene, the body's been there for, like, a month or whatever, and it's horrible, it's rank, things crawling around, it's disgusting. That's what this van smelled like. Oh my god, it was so bad. Except instead of dead body, it was dead fish. It was like all of red tide for an entire year had nested inside the camper. Not good. Because I accidentally left the bait in here. Don't ever do that. Let me tell you. So I pulled everything out of the van that I could, reasonably. As you can see, this is actually where the sofa / bed should sit. It is currently naked wood, the platform that sits underneath it. Not fun times. So, what has happened so far? I tried 2 of the ozone bombs together at the same time. Nothing. Tried an entire can of ozone spray. Nothing. Tried putting like 8 sticks of incense in here. Let it sit overnight. Then it smelled like incense and red tide. Also not good. Tried baking soda in here. Still not good. Like maybe a fraction of a difference. Still not good. So I, the next steps that I had read is, try vinegar spray, try this, try that, whatever. I ended up stumbling upon this product in Amazon. So it is Auto Shocker. And it's not expensive. It's $14 for the whole thing. And it treats 250 square feet. I have not measured the inside of the van. It might be 250 square feet. It might not. I have no idea. But it's close enough. Whatever it is, we're going to give this a shot. In part because, for 2 reasons. I had Googled, and there's apparently Reddit threads that say that this is like the stuff to use if apparently you left a dead body in your car and it reeks. But also heavy smokers and things like that. But what really kind of sold me on it was in the comments of the reviews for this product. There was a guy where the exact same thing happened to him. He even spent like hundreds of dollars to replace the carpet in his car. That still didn't diminish the smell. And he had tried the same things that I did. The ozone, incense, a shit ton of the trees. It was like, going into a serial killer's house where there's all the little trees, like, hanging around and shit, which is about what I was going to do, too. And he's like, yeah, no, that didn't work. He tried this, and the package says that you can let this sit, and I'll get into how this works in a minute. Let this sit anywhere from 4 to 20 hours. He did the whole 20 hours because, y'all, this is going to be a real short video because it's bad. He let it sit the whole 20 hours, and then you have to let the vehicle air out for another 20 to 30 minutes, which he did. And he said, when he came back, it did smell like a swimming pool at the Y or something, but we would all rather the swimming pool at the Y rather than dead fish, red tide, dead body, serial killer smell. And this is a black van too, by the way, so it already looks like the murder van. So we don't need it to smell like the murder van. Okay. Or the FBI van. The FBI van if people were murdered. Anyway, we won't even go there. So, so what is this? It's a relative of, well, it's in the chlorine family. It's a relative of chlorine bleach, but it is not bleach. Okay. So what you're doing is it comes, so you have this, it's like a ramen cup. It's what it comes in. Then you have the packet. So this is where all the stuff is. It's powder. It's the chlorine powder. Technically it is sodium chlorite. And then what you do is you open it, you put it in the thing, and then it comes with a little cup. I already have it full of water. You pour in the water, and you put it in the vehicle. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Close up the doors, windows, and leave it. Very important that the vehicle is out of direct sunlight. So I have actually parked this behind my house. Well, technically the side of the house. And so the vehicle, unfortunately, is sitting kind of due east and west. But I put a tarp at the back windows to keep the rising sun. There's other buildings in front of where I'm sitting. So it only gets direct sunlight for maybe an hour and kind of maybe around the maybe 8 to 9 o'clock hour. And then the sun continues to rise. And then it would actually technically be hitting the roof. But there's a tree that this is actually under. So I'm really only worried about an hour direct sunlight. So what happens when that happens? Direct sunlight, as we all know, kills things, and it purifies things, and that's what sunlight does. UVA, UVB, all of the UVs. So it also diminishes the effect of chlorine derivatives, just from the act of the sunlight hitting it. And you do have to be careful with temperature. You can only, in this particular package says, don't store it or use it in temperatures that may be over 120 degrees because like it can combust and shit. So don't do that. So right now, like tomorrow, okay, technically today, temperature's supposed to be in the 70s. And the interior of this van will not get to 120 degrees for the whole hour, perhaps, that it might be in direct sunlight before it hits the tree. And then the house is keeping it in shade after that. So like the sun is going to do its complete arc after it would normally be shining through these back windows, and the sun is going to be the van is going to be in complete shade. It'll be fine. So I am going to let this do its thing and sit for as long as possible, and see if I have a van that smells like a swimming pool instead of a van that smells like red tide, dead fish, serial killer, hanging trees, whatever. I mean, even if it would knock it down a bit now. So the couch, unfortunately, did also absorb the smell. But it's like there are, because it converts. So there's different pieces of foam in different sections depending on what it's doing. So it converts from a sofa, then it goes to a super twin, and then it goes into a queen. So there's a lot of foam that's in it. The smaller pieces of foam are about, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 inches thick. The biggest pieces of foam are the back and the armrests, and those are probably 8 or 9 inches thick, I believe. So what I did with those is I did put them in, I took them out of the covers. The cover was washed like 3 times. And then I brushed in baking soda all of the sides and put it outside to air out in direct sunlight, which has helped. There's like one part of the armrest that was actually facing towards where the bait unfortunately was left, that still like a little bit faintly. So I'm going to try ozone spray with that again to try and get the smell out. In the event that doesn't work, I am prepared to just take actual detergent and scrub it in and soak the whole thing down, and then again let it air dry in sunlight, because that's kind of the only thing. The whole thing's, like memory foam, so that's really all you can do with it. And I don't have, whereas I can absolutely get another one of these. Unfortunately, other than the van, I have no place to hotbox it. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. The smell's already diminished. It's gone in all of the places in the foam except for this little corner. My partner's tested it, because at this point, all I smell is fish. Like, anytime I come near the van, I just smell fish. So, at any rate, we are going to try this tonight. And tomorrow we'll have part 2 of the video to let you know how it worked. And I do apologize, I'm kind of, these are my work clothes, but I had to, again, work on the van and get, y'all, trying to sweep out, because I spared nothing. It was like a box and a half of baking soda that was in here. It's like trying to sweep up glitter if it was the consistency of powdered sugar. Like, that's what trying to sweep up baking soda is. And you're probably like, well, why didn't you just vacuum it? Well, 2 reasons. It's a shit ton of baking soda, and I would have to, like, change out the vacuum like 12 times to do that. And 2, like I said, it's like midnight. None of my neighbors want to hear me vacuum out the van at midnight. So I just swept it up. I'll come back in to get what's left with the vacuum cleaner another day. But it's enough that it's not going to interfere with the working of the stuff. And we're going to cross our fingers and hope for the best, because the rest of, like, the paneling has been redone and all sorts of that. So then the last resort is to take the paneling down and replace it. But for obvious reasons, like, yes, there are things that I want to redo in the van, things that, there's remodeling, retooling that I do want to do, redecorating. But I do not want to take out the paneling if I can possibly avoid it, because that would be a huge task. I've taken the ceiling paneling down to redo wiring and some other things. That's not so as bad, because it's basically one 4x8 sheet that's been screwed in. And that wasn't horrible to take down, but still, I'm by myself, and if I can avoid any extra work, I will. So at any rate, I'm gonna, stop this video. Like I said, we'll do part 2 tomorrow after, fingers crossed. Hopefully this works. And it's a success story. This is what we're hoping for. And if not, I will probably try it again. And if that doesn't work, then unfortunately the only thing I have left, because I can't replace, like, the driver's chair. When I bought the van, it had already been gutted, so most of, like, the interior fabrics and stuff have already been taken out. This has a, that locked together faux hardwood floor. Again, I know I keep promising to do this, but I will do a van walkthrough eventually. And I can't pull out the driver's seat. There's still insulation in the van, so at some point you get to where you can no longer pull things out. So we're just hoping that this is going to work. I'm okay with it smelling like a swimming pool. It'll be fun. Better than what it smells like now. So at any rate, like I said, it's going to be real short. I'm going to follow the rest of the directions to get this going. Get out of Dodge, close the doors, and call it a night. So, again, all y'all, fingers crossed. It works. We have a not death smelling like van tomorrow. And until then, don't die.